What is up, everybody? Spot of Nerd here with something different. We are live, and if you can hear this, I need to check with my phone here real quick to make sure that I am doing this properly because this is kind of a first time I've done lives. I've done lives before in the past, but I still don't believe this is working or not. So I'm going to triple dog check here real quick. I'm just call it I'm old or something like that, and then we'll go over what we're trying to do here.
Something like that, and then we'll go over.
Okay, it does work. Great. All right. So, yeah, this is first time we're doing this as far as officially, but we're going to get better at it and we're going to get more creative with it if that kind of makes sense. The whole purpose behind doing this, my hat is not straight. There we go. That's better. The whole purpose of doing this is editing takes a long time, and I have no problem doing that. I love giving you guys new episodes and the whole 9 yards. What I wanna do with these, though, is more on a weekly basis, maybe a couple times a week. We'll come and we'll just talk live. We'll just do an on air, no hold bar, no script, just get out what we're doing, what we're watching, what we're talking about, what's going on in the world, but also give you a more realistic picture into what I'm doing as far as with this channel, with the world. Because let's be honest, I am a conservative living in the Pacific Northwest. Most people have an interesting view about me. Just check out the comment section on some of these videos that I have. But you can pretty much get the point of what we're trying to do. The long story short of it is, these might be short, these might be long. I might try to add things in later on, like video background thingamabobs, or I want to try to learn a little bit more about people that do these border things, and then we can maybe like add people. Collaboration would be awesome. So if anybody out there wants to join in on this, please hit me up, throw me a comment, send me a message, whatever it might be. Let me know your thoughts. What can we do better? What can we focus more on topics and not topics and things like that? And that's going to be pretty much the gist. Again, bear with me. This is the first time I'm doing this. Honestly, have no idea what I'm doing. I'm using my new microphone, so hopefully this is sounding okay. And actually, you know what? Just because like I have OCD, I'm going to make sure this
We'll
actually
go
is.
over what we're trying to do
Yeah,
here.
it actually sounds really good actually. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. But yeah, I'm obviously going to use my phone a lot with these because it's where I take notes about some of the topics I want to talk about, but also just reviews, movies, and things like that. Before we get into the obvious, and I am so glad that I was able to do this today, Monday, January 6th, to me is an absolutely amazing day. I wonder why, because today was the official day that yours truly, not, I was about to say me, President Trump is legit. And that is a check on that box. Officially, Donald Trump will be your 47th president of the United States. And this is a day to celebrate. It really, really is. For some people, today is different. It is, yeah, I mean, if you, let's be back up, reverse. If you know me, if you know this channel, if you know who I support, obviously I have a job. And there are people, which I am very thankful for, actually, who do support this channel, who watch this channel, listen to it on the podcast, so on and so forth. I am eternally grateful for you. If you haven't, I would even love you forever if you could just hit that little subscribe button down below, give me the thumbs up. But that also means I have to tread carefully sometimes. Now, having an opinion, hopefully, from what I've gathered so far, shouldn't risk employment or not employment just by having an opinion. We don't need to go down that road right now, but all I'm saying is today, for others that might have the opposite viewpoints of myself, today is a day that's quite different, and I'm pretty sure where you can, you can go with me on that. So, lo and behold, I'm simply excited. I'm ecstatic. This is a day to celebrate because, man, the last 4 years have been brutal. They have been torturous. And quite frankly, as I mentioned, probably in the most recent past few episodes, I'm not going to hold back anymore. So, yes, albeit I will be careful, at the same time, I'm simply not going to hold back in relation to my viewpoints, to my opinions, and things like that, that I believe are in perfectly reasonable, respectful ways, blah, 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 blah. Like, for those of you that do know me, pretty confident you're aware that I am not racist, bigoted, homophobic, the whole nine yards. Pretty confident about that. Many of you believe that I am. Again, go and check out the comments. I could show you some DMs. Pretty crazy out there. What I'm getting at with that is just I'm tired. I'm done. I'm over it. I am so beyond trying to tiptoe around all of this. It is exhausting. And for anybody, I'm going to do an episode in the future, hopefully. I have so many ideas about what I want to bring to the channel for this year. We're going to Florida, which is incredible. I cannot wait. If anything, that's why I'm kind of starting this live thing right now because I want to learn a little bit more about how to better do it. I'm going to take you with me on the journey to Orlando, which I am officially moving here in a few weeks. But I need to figure out how to do that. So, right to my left, there's a microphone and my DJI Pocket 3. Somehow, some way, apparently you can use that to live stream to YouTube. So we're gonna figure out how to do that because that way I can take you along with me to Florida and not have to worry about, recording hours upon hours of footage and then editing that once I get there, which I'll be exhausted because I just moved and starting a whole new life. It'll be crazy and I'm old and everything hurts. But it'll be great. It'll be fantastic. So I can't wait to show you that. But at the same time, I've completely lost my train of thought where I was going with that. But I think where you can kind of gather that's the whole purpose of this. We just bring up topics. We're going to talk about it. And if you want to listen, great. If you don't, cool. That's great too. But now I remember going back to not being afraid anymore. And again, I think that's where it just comes into I'm exhausted. I really, really am. Like, the tiptoeing around everybody in relation to not being allowed or not being able to express who you support, I don't think people realize just how exhausting it is. And I'm going to do an episode. I really, really want to kind of lay it out properly. I want to basically do an episode where, like, what it's like being a conservative in the Pacific Northwest in Washington. And quite frankly, it's torturous. It is absolute torture to be a conservative here. It is everybody hates you. There are people that probably wish violence on you. It's hard. It's really, really hard. And I think it's so important to start talking about this. Like, I'm not the only person that is, but I just feel maybe you can kind of hear my side of it. This whole channel is dedicated to the nerdiness, to reviews, to Comic Cons, the whole nine yards. And only in the last few years have we really started to put more of the life experience in there. So I figured, why not let's just tell you more? And right now, which is super awesome, even though you're going to laugh your ass off and I'll probably get some interesting comments. I am one subscriber away from hitting 250 subscribers. So if you would love to be number 250 or 251, maybe another thousand of you, I would be eternally grateful because again, I've been doing this thing for easily 10 years now and I've enjoyed every second of it. I do it as a hobby, I do it as a passion. I'm not dumb and I'm not blind. I do not expect to reach a bazillion followers, subscribers, yada, yada, yada. But just in this last year alone, in these last maybe 2 or 3 years, I've blown up in my world. I know my world is very tiny, very, very tiny world. But look at the Rumble. I would actually encourage you also to go over to the Rumble side because we can be a little bit more free speech over there because of the YouTube overlords. But again, what I'm getting at is that's a quarter of the way to 1,000. And I have all these people that I look up to, idols. Nerdrotic, you've heard me say about him. I got to meet him last year at Comic Con. There's videos of him where he made his first 1,000 subscribers. The dude now has over 1 million. Like, it's only a matter of time. And again, I want to be very clear. I don't expect to ever get to that point. Again, this is just something I like to do in my spare time, but it would be pretty freaking awesome. Nobody is gonna you are lying to yourself if you think that that wouldn't be the case. And I'm just somebody that there's 1,000 of me's out there. Let me just flash these over here. I'm not a stranger to the fact that there are probably easily thousands upon thousands of people just like me who have a camera, have a microphone, and they have something to say. And, you know, not to go down that road of, well, not everybody, needs to have a say. Why not? That's my whole thing is just why the hell not? If you got shit to say it. If you, I mean, respectfully, don't be an asshole. Don't be disrespectful. Be legit. Maybe have something you want to talk about. But at the end of the day, that's the whole reason. Like, I mean, you look at the way politics are, you look at the way the world is now. Look at X or Twitter, whatever. I don't know the lingo, but my whole point there is again, you have a platform, use it. And I think that's where the optimism and the excitement comes in now for me and for this channel, because no matter who you vote for, I say fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna swear, but the bottom line is go for it. This doesn't look right. There we go. Hold on. You do you, I'll do me. Treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. It's really that simple. And that's that. Before I start, I've realized I tend to have verbal diarrhea. You're going to have to forgive that. So, like I said, if you want to skip to the end where we start talking about legit stuff, totally wouldn't blame you. Or if you even made it this far, congratulations. But first thing I want to talk about, and then we'll just kind of wrap it up because it's something I was thinking about doing a review on it, and then I realized it's just going to take too long, and I don't really need to talk too much about it, other than I want to tell you folks about Netflix right now. If you are a fan, there is a new movie for Wallace and Gromit. And speaking of which, I have totally forgotten the actual title of the movie. Hold on a second. Wallace and Gromit. Vengeance Most Foul. Now, if you're not a fan of Wallace and Gromit, there's something wrong with you. It is the most amazing claymation animated show that has ever existed. I will die on that hill. It's obviously for kids, but it is so incredibly funny. It is so incredible as far as the detail, as far as what they do. I would encourage you as well, go look behind the scenes of how they make Wallace and Gromit. But this new movie is a sequel to The Wrong Trousers, and it is absolutely incredible. I was laughing my ass off at some of these sayings, these jokes, the way it is. And without going down that huge, like I've said, I'm not gonna go down that huge review aspect of it, but all I'm gonna say is right here, right now, the best movie of 2025 so far is this Wallace and Gromit movie, Vengeance of Fowl or whatever I just said. Um, Again, you just have to give these guys, these directors, these writers so much credit. Number one, it's done all by hand, which is like holy shit. But then number two is it doesn't matter if you're 4 years old, if you're 80 years old. This is for anybody. There are no politics, there are no agendas. This is just a British guy who invents shit. He has his best friend dog. His dog doesn't talk, but talks more in relation to just the facial expressions. There are more facial expressions, and he communicates more through that than any other character in the entire series. It's absolutely perfect, and I am so glad they're continuing the series. So, spot of nerd here right now. If you want to watch the best movie of 2025, and I know we're only 6 days in, Wallace and Gromit on Netflix is so far the best film ever. And I promise you, it is going to take a lot to beat this film. And I know that sounds completely crazy and completely outlandish, but trust me, this movie it's amazing. You are missing out if you haven't checked it out. But Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I'm gonna say about that. So, anyway, we're getting past the 15-minute mark, and that's kind of where I want to keep it. I don't want to make these things long, and I mean, unless we need to make them long. So I'll kind of wrap this episode up. If we do, we call this an episode, or do we just call this a? Tell me in the comments. Like again, I'm old. I don't know this. I don't know these young, youthful, vibrant words. Um, what is this? Like when we do a live, is it just a? Is it an episode? Is it a I don't just go with me on that. But I do want to send a huge, huge thanks, seriously, to everybody that watches, to everybody that listens to this channel. If you get this far, again, I did my hat. I send a huge thanks for all the love and all the appreciation to that. To the haters out there, please, please keep coming because without you, my channel would not be this popular. And again, I know that's me saying very tiny popularity, but this channel has blown up in the last year, mostly because of the haters. And I find it absolutely hilarious when I get hate because, quite frankly, all you're doing is getting me more, more traction. The algorithms, blah, 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 blah. So please, if you hate this stuff, if you hate me, if you hate this channel, if you hate what we're about, come on by because you're only making me stronger. And it's kind of that life we'll leave you with that life lesson that, you know what? Bullies, the reason they're bullies is because you are better or some shit like that. I was we won't go there, but let's just say toilet water does not taste good. Let's just say that. And I'm gonna shut the fuck up now. But if, like I said, you would be ever so kind, I would love you so, so much. Hit that subscribe button right down below. Give me the thumbs up. Tell me your thoughts. Is this just verbal diarrhea? If it is, I fully admit that because I don't really know what I'm doing yet. And we'll figure that out as time goes by. Expect these to be at least one a week, maybe two. We'll see. Because I do want to talk about the politics. I didn't think it was right for this first time we do this, but trust me, there is a lot to talk about in the politics realm. And I'm pretty sure you know why. Not all of it is good. I mean, look at just January 1st alone was tragic and horrible, but we don't need to go there right now. Right now, we just need to introduce this and say yibbity bibbity bobbity boop or something like that. But until next time, folks, you know me, Spot of Nerd. We will see you guys in the next stream episode thing.